Hello and welcome to the Brothers in Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, community. We consist of five brothers discussing relevant topics thoughtfully with candor and care. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go. Hey.
Love it.
Welcome to another episode of the Brothers in Influence podcast. We are in a new time slot, like a new time slot. Previously, we've been going live at around 3 o'clock on Mondays, and now we are going live at 6 p.m. We found that, our people, the people that we were trying to reach, are more available at this time, so we wanted to make ourselves both accessible, and we wanted to create more opportunities for engagement. So this is an invitation to the conversation with the brothers, no matter where you're from, what your background is, or what categories you may or may not fall into. This is an open forum. We invite you to engage with us, to ask questions, to share your own thoughts and feelings as we discuss these topics that are related to the betterment of Black men in the areas of life, leadership, and community. Again, my name is Ian Williams. I'm your purpose coach. You can find me at Son of the King 02 on Twitter, and you can find the home team, my beautiful family, on Instagram at Team Reconcile. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and create a space, make a space for these giants that I'm shoulder to shoulder with. I find myself shoulder to shoulder with week in and week out. We've been consistent. This is episode 13, so I'm excited about the new time slot. I'm excited about consistency. I'm excited about the grind. I'm excited about the execution. Look, don't let me get too excited before.
Come on, sir.
All right, so we, without further ado, my brothers.
Yeah, here it goes. At 13, we're at episode 13 already.
Episode 13.
Bro, it seems like we sound like we just. I feel like we just got started though, but that's beautiful. Episode 13, right? The consistency. Hey, this is Sherrod Ledet, your leadership locksmith. Yeah, that's right, leadership locksmith. So what I do is I open doors for you, right? But hey, look, you can find me at SherrodLedet.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on social, on pretty much all social media platforms. But I'm here as a leadership development coach, and looking forward to touching base with anybody who is looking for it.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll go next. What's up, friends and family? This is Lorenzo with Win with Lorenzo. I'm so happy to be here standing alongside my brothers. This is a God-ordained thing. So my thing is to help you win. I'm a coach. I'm a consultant. I'm an author, but I'm a minister of the Lord Jesus Christ, and I'm excited about it today. I'm hype about it. So, brothers, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be celebrating. I'm glad to be talking about man, husband, and father, and I'm going to swing it on over to you.
Shantae, brother.
Shantae, can you hear us, bro?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
We're waiting on you, brother.
Right. For some reason, I can't hear y'all though. But Shantae Price here. Once again, you can find me on all social media networks with my name, Shantae Price. I am your leadership and your financial coach. And just want to give a shout out to Team Reconcile.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
Appreciate that.
And Ian, if I could say really quickly, Mercury is in retrograde, so we're having a little bit of technical issues. I had some mic and sound issues. Shantae, if you select where it says cam/mic, you can't even hear me. I'll message you. But for those out there, you might hear that communication might be off, or you might just be having some difficulties around technology and communication. What happens is periodically Mercury, the planet, will go retrograde. What that means was that its orbit will begin to spin in the opposite direction. What also happens is because our communication satellites and systems are linked to Mercury, when Mercury goes in retrograde, communication satellites and systems also begin to go haywire. And so that's what we're facing right now. And also just to let you know that it's not you, it's the time and the season in the heavens as to why you might be experiencing some of what you're experiencing.
Hey, what does his brother not know? I did not know that. Right. What does his brother not know? Hey, I'm not asking Google nothing. I'm calling Lorenzo. Hey, Lorenzo, what you know about this?
I receive it. But and I'm gonna let it go. But my grandfather says the man who knows the most knows he knows nothing.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
The wise grandpa.
I get it all from my grandpa and the people around me, and you guys also. But I'm just so hyped to be with y'all. Go ahead, Ian. I'm so happy to be with you guys.
This is episode 13. You know what I'm saying? I got no worries. I just, you know what I mean? I just finished dinner out. I had a little jerk salmon. I threw a little jerk salmon together. I got my favorite drink right here, this ginger brew. You know what I'm saying? Straight from Jamaica. You know
Come on, sir. Yes,
sir. I'm feeling the vibes. But we are here today to talk about what it means to be healthy. Among the many themes of this month, it is one of them is Men's Health Month, but it is also Black Music Appreciation Month. And if anybody knows me, I know that I'm a fan of a particular individual, a man who is a musician and an artist and a creative, but he is also a man of faith, a man of vision, a man of purpose. I believe that just like we say around here, that we share a burden of purpose. You can see that his burden of purpose is evidence in his work and how he lives his life and how he chooses to live life, to lead, and to operate in community with his friends and family. And so, in honor of Black Music Appreciation, I'm going to go ahead and just cue up this video that he happened to have the opportunity to perform at this year's inauguration. And it's not really about the inauguration, but it's about Black music appreciation. It's about excellence, executing. It's about this man doing it all independently, right? Without major music distribution, but just the support of people that believe in him and believed in what he had to offer, not only his gift, but his ability to move this generation. Without further ado, my favorite artist, I'm gonna cue him up right now.
Hit it.
Toby and Weebly.
Oh, okay. Bro, we can't hear the sound.
You still can't hear?
Nope.
No, not yet.
Hold on. Technical difficulties. Here we go.
But this is
it's Mercury.
It is. It's Mercury in retrograde. You got to double and triple check your systems. But this is a perfect place if you're viewing. You could already tell we have a great vibe, great energy. Today's going to be a great show. So go ahead and hit share, hit like, and let somebody know that we're having this conversation. 4 brothers, 4 Black men having a conversation around healthy man, husband, and father. And so I'm really excited for what we're about to open up. And Ian, I didn't even know you like Toby like this, but I really like this guy as well.
Big fan. Yeah. Big fan. Been following him not since the very, very beginning, but it was one of the things where some people knew me, knew my love for hip hop, for my burden of purpose, and they were like, "You gotta check this dude out."
Wow.
So that's how I came up on him. I've been rocking with him ever since. I think when he first got started, he was making weekly videos, just freestyling, just putting his gift out there and sewing. He committed to doing that for a year. So I was in about the halfway point for that, but
bro, I think it's great to tell this part of the story and help me out. Didn't he release a new song every week on the same day at the same time for like a year?
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for those that don't know in the listening or viewing audience, like this guy put in work. For some of you that don't know, and Ian and other Shartae, Sherrod, I like this guy because he takes his wife everywhere with him. Right, and his family everywhere with him, and his children everywhere with him. And they work together in business and they're successful and they have a great life. And he has integrity to his manhood, integrity to his relationship, integrity to his blackness, integrity to his music. And it's like super dope to me. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah. So look him up and check him out, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's try one more time. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, we're going to roll on by. But this is his rendition on Wake Up Everybody.
No sound, bro.
Okay. Still no sound?
Nah.
All right, we're gonna have to shelf it.
When you go to press share and then there should be a button at the bottom that says share audio, right? And when it goes share entire screen, share window, share Chrome tab, and then at the bottom it says is one that says share audio, and you can click that. And some of you might be saying, Lorenzo, Ian, Sharad, Shate, why are you doing this in the public? Because we're also coaches and we also publicly teach and we publicly learn. And so for some of you all that will be in the same situation, we use StreamYard to stream, right? We're giving it away. We use StreamYard to stream. We have Rodecaster and other kinds of microphone systems. And so this is just a quick teaching on how you can do and get this done in real time. Ian, we can't hear you now, bro. It's the Mercury in retrograde. We can't hear you, but try to play the video. I think if you did click share sound, StreamYard won't allow you to talk over the shared sound of the video. That's my hypothesis. Not yet.
No.
So
yeah, let's keep it moving then. Let's keep it. Here he comes. Nope.
I promise my sound system had some issues earlier. Par for the course.
No, sir.
Man. Still can't hear Tobe.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. You still mute, brother. Yeah, you still mute, brother. Yeah. We're gonna kick it off though. We're gonna kick it.
So we talking about health, right? And manhood, husband, being a father, right, and all that around health. And so
in honor of Men's Health Month, like one, I didn't know that. Like y'all be hipping me on stuff like I don't be knowing. I don't know why I be either. Yeah, see, but apparently that's what this month is. So yeah.
Along with a lot of other things, but
right.
We talking about this one, but so what do you guys, when you guys think of health? So let's just jump it off like that as Ian's getting his system back together. What is health or being healthy? What do you guys?
It was interesting that it's kind of just even piggybacks off of last month, right? When we were talking about mental health, right? So I'm still kind of stuck there, but I think we can't. It's interesting when we think about it, right? So immediately when we think of health, we think of what? Like, exercise, food, all those different things. But now immediately, even when I was thinking about this today and, getting ready and preparing for it today, in my mind, as I think about health, it's not just that, right? It's the big picture, right? All those different components kind of feed into that, right? So even that we talked about mental health, I can't even really effectively talk about health without thinking about mental health.
Yes.
Spiritual health.
Yes.
Right? Physical health, right? Because all those, we're a being of all those different things. So you can't neglect one without impacting another, right? And you can't feed just one without feeding all other aspects of it. So when I think about health from that perspective of what we're talking about this month, that's what I think about, right? And then I love the fact, again, that's why he's the man, right? He broke it up. Man, husband, father. Right? Because here's the reality. a healthy man, a healthy father, a healthy husband. You got to have it. It makes me, it comes to mind, and I'll get off, and now y'all can jump in. Y'all know how I get, though. Don't be tripping.
Go ahead.
Don't be tripping. It made me think about a story that I heard, and y'all probably heard it. I think I read it in a book. I don't know, but it was basically talking about a father. He was going to spend time with his son, and he told his son, like, look, hey, tomorrow we're going to spend all day together. We're going to do our thing. He got up early in the morning. He has a kind of a routine. We all got our routines, right? And he was going to drink his cup of coffee, read the paper, right? Son jumped up early in the morning, happy to ready to get to spend the entire day with his dad. He ran over and said, hey, Dad, let's get it. Let's do what we're going to do. And his dad was like, man, I'm still trying to finish this paper. What can I do just to buy some time? So he remembers seeing this picture of the world, right, in the few pages back. So he took it out, he tore it up in a bunch of little pieces, put it on the table, and said, hey, look, son, I want to see how fast you can put this puzzle together or this back together. As soon as you get done with it, we're going to get our day. We'll go outside. We'll go play, blah, blah, blah. So what happens, right? He's starting to put it together. He drops a piece. Now, the unique thing about this, and catch this, right? He dropped the piece. He went to pick it up, but the puzzle was on a glass table. So in the process, this could preach. In the process of picking it up, he happened to look up, and he saw on the other side a man's face. So what he did was he said he flipped it over, put the man's face together, then he flipped it back over, and then he told his dad he was done. And this happened in a matter of minutes. So his dad, amazed at what his son was able to do, he said, well, how did you put that together so quick? And he said, well, I saw that a man's face was on the other side, so I flipped it over, put it together, and then I saw the whole world come together.
Wow.
Right. And I know that was probably deep to start off in the beginning, but I think you can't miss it, right? When we think about health, it's when you put the man together, the husband comes together, the father comes together. Now we're talking about health. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, that was a good jump off. You back with us, Ian?
I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Nebo boy from the southwest side of Houston, Texas,
right. I don't mean to just interject there, but the issue's resolved. So
okay.
Where we at? We still want to do it?
Let's do it.
My name is Tobechukwu Dubem-Wigwe. I'm an Igbo boy from the southwest side of Houston, Texas, and it is an honor to be able to do our version of Wake Up Everybody by the legendary Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, a.k.a. Teddy Pendergrass. So today, as you hear my baby talking in the background, I am Toby Pendergrass.
Love it.
Let's go.
I love it.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up, all you teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Cause they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. So when you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. I won't get no better. Yeah. If you just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. you and me. Wake up all your doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and catch all the hell. But they don't have so very long before the judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all you builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our mind. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. Everybody sing. Well, won't get no better if you just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. Yeah. The world won't get no better. The hood won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. Everybody say the world won't get no better. The hood won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. Just you and me. You and me. You and me. Say Maya.
The world won't get no better. And my heart won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. You and me.
Talk to him, Luke.
The world won't get no better. My hood won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, for you and me.
Talk to him, Dave.
The world won't get no better. My hood won't get no better.
Yeah.
World won't get no better. You gotta change it, yo.
Yeah.
You and me. 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 You gotta change it, yo. 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 You gotta change. 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 You gotta change.
No music.
You gotta change. 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 You gotta change.
My name is Tobe Chukwudu Bemwikwe. I'm from the southwest side of Houston, Texas. We love y'all. Make the change. Don't let 2021 be 2020 part 2 for you. You know what I'm saying? We love y'all. Shout out to my Uncle Nell. Shout out to the keyboard kid, Nick Humes. Shout out to David Michael White, Luke Whitney, Maya Tucker. My queen, my everything except my G.O.D. FAT. My wife Fat. And my babies. Baby Fat, come here. There you go. Come here, my baby. Here's a clown. Come on, my baby. Do me a favor, look there, say hi. Say hi. And we love y'all. Peace.
Come on, fellas.
Hey.
Come on, fellas. Toby represent everything we talking about on the Brothers in Influence podcast. Life, leadership, and community. All in that little bit 3-4 minutes right there. We got it all. So listen, but don't let me get hyped because I'm a fan. So I'm gonna let y'all react.
Man. So that to me that goes into the story Sherrod just told, right? Because there's a lot of people that listen to him that now goes back and listen to that song, right? So it's the two sides of that map you're talking about, because a lot of people they like, I don't got time for that map. But if they see that other side, and the same thing happened with made me think of something else. Beyonce did the remix of the old school song. I can't think of what it is. One of the Frankie Beverly and Maze songs. And people was like, oh, they don't like it and all that. And he like, yeah, I might not like it, but I just got paid, right? But a lot of people didn't even know about the song. And so they went back and started listening to the song. You know what I'm saying? It just showed that's what happened. So but yeah, that's when he got to doing it, man. I'm like, wow, right? It's like it's speaking to now. Like, I'm pretty sure we all know the song, right? A lot of other people might not, but we know the song. But he did justice to the song, right?
He did. So in addition to it being like just a really freaking good rendition of the song, like you guys have been saying, I am so deeply moved at the presence of his children in the video and the time and the patience that he takes, right? Let's call it out, because and I've been guilty of it too. For the most part, if we're on a be quiet, or the running around becomes somewhat of an issue, as if whoever we are on with is more important than our family. This is what I'm really getting right this moment.
Yeah.
And so what I'm taking away is, nope, we're going to wait. The musician's going to keep playing the loop, because we're going to wait for my daughter to get herself together to come and say hello. Or in the beginning, well, y'all excuse me, that's my baby in the background. Well, listen, y'all know I got a child. Y'all know I'm in the middle of a panorama and she's going to make noise. I said panorama to soften it up. But the children make noise, right? And so I'm just so moved at his strength, and I'm inspired as a husband, man, and father, and reinvigorated and encouraged. Like, even when I'm preaching, it's like, yeah, my daughter's in the background, and that's what it is. So yeah.
Talk to me, Sherrod.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go, and I'm just gonna kind of piggyback off of what Lorenzo said on the fact that, again, the inclusion, right, of the family and everything. Like, so yeah, that was great inspiration, and I think it was a great lesson, or just a great visual, right, of what it really looks like when you put together man, husband, and father, right? Because, again, too many times, and I'll raise my hand and say I'm guilty of that, we try to separate those. And I think that's where we make the mistake, right? Just like you got little man coming in there right now, right? Like, the reality of it is that there is no separation, right? I am a man, I am a husband, and I'm a father. And at any given time, I should be that. It doesn't matter. I should not be able to, can I say that? I can, and I will. Like, I shouldn't have to compartmentalize that and not make that all one, right? If my little girl wants to come in here, my wife wants to come in here and they want to talk, or whatever, let that happen, right? And that's healthy. Let's go ahead and put it all the way to, like, let's go. It's healthy, right? And here's the healthy part, right? It's not even healthy just just from your perspective, but the big picture.
Yes.
Right. And I think there's strength in it. So what I got from the song as I'm watching him and I'm listening to what he's saying, and again, I know the song, but the biggest thing is, one, when you brought it on and you talked about, again, just the inclusion of his family, that he takes them everywhere, that got me. Once I then watched the song and listened to it, seeing them in the background, and here's the reality, they weren't even really doing anything. Mm-hmm. They were just there.
Yes.
They were there. Right? Because here's the reality, when it's all said and done, who's going to be there? So it makes sense. Why not have them there even when whatever I'm doing is happening? Because when it's all said and done, they're going to be there. Well, no matter where I go, they're going to be there. So make it a part of it, right? I don't know if that's but that's what I got from that. So that blessed me a lot, because again, it's just, it was beautiful to see that, and it's in the way, and in the way he ended it, right? Come here. Right.
What's crazy about that too, as you're talking, Sherrod, is the idea of legacy, right? The piece about the children participating, because so often, right?
Well, because if we think about that, right, we're always thinking about, okay, so what's the legacy? How do we teach? How do we make sure that we're giving what we want to give to our children so they can be successful? Why not make them a part of it? Right? Bring them along for the ride. Let them be. And here's the thing. Don't let them do it the way that you think it ought to be done. Don't.
Ooh, that's so good.
Don't put them in a box, right? Just put them there. Let whatever happens happen. Now, okay.
Some guidelines and rules. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, right? That's obvious, right? But at the same time, you never know. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, and there was this, I don't know where, it was a conversation or whatever, but basically, we're made in God's image, right? He created us in his image. Keyword being created, meaning that we are creatives. Hey, I'm slow sometimes too. It goes over my head too sometimes.
Yeah.
So if he created us in his image, that means that we have the ability to create as well. Meaning, right, that we are naturally creatives. So therefore, in that space, when we have our family or whatever the case may be, we don't limit it. I actually think it energizes us. It puts in things that we didn't even think about. Again, come here, baby girl. Come here. And he ended it like, I'm done. I'm just saying.
Big shouts to IJ coming through.
Yeah. It's man, it's that's how it is. And it's funny that this kind of came because I've just been thinking because I have a 3-year-old, and like having a 3-year-old trying to do anything, right? However, I've been literally thinking about that. What if somebody was like, well, we want you to come in and do a mastermind or teaching or training. And literally, I've been thinking for months, just like to say, because I never know that. Yeah, I have an assistant, and she's 3 years old. But if she doesn't come, I don't come. Literally, I've just been thinking about that. It's just funny that this comes up. And
wow.
And when you think about, we can look at a lot of famous people over the last 30, 40 years. That's one of the things. They were successful, but that was always one of the regrets, that they didn't spend as much time with their kids. Yes. When they could have, because they were the man. They could have did whatever they wanted to. Part of the problem was they were doing some stuff they knew they should have been doing. That's why they wouldn't have. But you could always have your kid with you, right? If you're in a position, there's nothing. Sometimes, within boundaries, yes, but that's like you said, legacy. That's real powerful, because the thing is, they're not seeing it from a distance. There's a difference between seeing it from a distance and seeing it from right there, right?
That's right.
Watching a fight on TV versus watching the fight in Vegas on the ringside or whatever, right? So there's a difference between sitting way in the back where you got to use a binocular than sitting right up ringside. And
or training with the fighter as he's preparing for the fight.
Yeah, and what we're talking about is experiences and perspective, right? Every experience gives you a different perspective. So again, using the boxing analogy, right? Again, watching it on TV versus being ringside, completely different experience, completely different perspective, right? Again, and we think about it, like all our senses are being invigorated at that one time, right? The smell, the excitement, the yelling, again, watching it on TV, you can see the intensity, but you get to feel the intensity.
Yes.
Completely different experience. And here's the reality, right? Most of my lessons, most of even the things that I've experienced and what I've learned, and even when I coach and teach and speak, I don't know how many, I'm gonna start taking note of that. How many times I bring up my kids, right? Because that's where I learn my lessons.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I get application. Right. I mean, I don't, a lot of the experience and stuff, it comes from, I would say, I want to say, because I can. I think 80% of our experiences and lessons learned come from our interaction and our experiences with our families.
Absolutely. And when you talk about perspective, I think what is it? We're talking about healthy man, husband, father.
Mm-hmm.
Those three aspects of us. Us right here. Those three aspects. You're a man, your husband, your father. And at the same time, they're distinct. Because you walking down the street, someone sees you that's a man. But someone that knows you can say he's a husband, or just say the person that knew you got married years ago, you're a husband. They might not know you're a father, but somebody else can say you're a father. Yet you're still who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But you're those three distinct people. And you mentioned, like I say, perspective. I like to use the analogy of perspective of with an incident happens and the police are called out and there's 30 witnesses. They don't just go interview one person. They want to interview as many people as they can. Not that the first person don't know what they're talking about, but we're individuals. Perspective is everything. Mm-hmm. I was on the left side of the street. He was on the right side of the street. He was driving down the street. They all think the same thing, but they're going to tell the story differently because of who you are as an individual. Because guess what? If I grew up in the hood, I'm going to tell a story different than somebody that ain't never grew up in the hood, but just happened to be driving through the hood. You can't get around that. Yep. So, matter of fact, I was when I was working yesterday, I'm in Ohio at a gas station. This guy, I'm just going to say this guy, y'all going to know. But this guy walks in. It's somebody out there doing something, trying to hustle or something, asking people for money, whatever. He's like, and he just instantly walks in. Hey, see that guy out there? You guys need to get rid of him. He's out there trying to do it. I'm just looking at him like, right? To me, that's just to me, because like that happens everywhere we go where I'm from. And ain't nobody who all the person gonna say is, nah, man, I don't got no money, or nah, not right now. And keep it moving. You ain't bothering me, So, but yeah, that perspective thing, from the point of what we're talking about is real important because even as people address you, depending on the situation, manhood can come into play. You tested my manhood. Fatherhood, a woman trying to holler at you. You married. I'm a husband. All things come into play.
Absolutely.
How you treat my kid. Your mom can do something you don't like with your kid, but you gonna respond to her different than somebody else.
I'm not responding. I'm just saying, hey, that's cool. What happened? My grandmother gave you? Yep. Okay, cool. Let's roll. Because I'm not this one, right? But hey, and I'm done. We're gonna let Ian jump in here because we like taking over everything. But look. Like, I love the perspective, right? And this was the last thing I want to do on the whole perspective. But I think it's important when we think about the healthy man, husband, and father, because again, they're different perspectives, right? Of the same person, right? Because I am a man, I am a husband, I'm a father. But depending on what lens I'm looking at the situation at that particular time, depends on the perspective that I'm going to get. And it's funny because me and my wife were talking, and I don't know what we were talking about, but we was in the car. And it's funny because we were just talking about experience. I think we were actually having the same conversation. And it's interesting because even in a car, driving down the road, even on the bus, right? Like we could be driving and with all the whole family can be in the car. Like me and my wife, and my 2 girls. We can be driving, but here's the thing. They're looking out the back window. One's looking out the left side, one's looking out the right side. My wife is in the front. Now she has 2 vantage points, but she's looking out the passenger side window, and she can look out the front. I'm doing the same. So if you were again to ask us when we came back from the trip, so what did you see? What did you experience? Everyone's experience is going to be different. Why? Because they were looking out a different window. They were looking out a different side of the road. They were everything around them. And now, again, they were in the same environment. And let's not even think about the environment and how that has an impact on their perspective. Because here's the reality, right? Here's how the environment could have changed, which could even change the whole perspective and the whole experience of the trip. Because me and the wife could have been up there arguing.
Yep.
Changes the whole environment. Right. So what did you see? What did you want? Did you pay attention? Right. So all those different things, I think when we think about perspective, when it comes from the healthy man, husband, and father, we got to think about those different things. So I'm done.
I love it.
Go ahead, Ian. I know we running off at the mouth.
No, man. Listen, I'm when it's going, it's going. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be me. So, hey, that's a part of leadership, right? You step back and let the show go on sometimes.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Since you said I was like, he just back there chilling like.
Only thing he was missing was a cup of coffee, right? He had his feet kicked up. He was like, let me just push the buttons, make sure the camera angles are good. He was killing it.
What I can tell, we got 4 good tires. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Hey.
Flats.
But also, Ian, why don't you introduce your son? I think that was so powerful that he came and he sat with us. I don't know if you just want to tell us about him, but as we talk about man, husband, and father, I just felt like there was such an organic segue. And I think there's an encouragement for guys that are out there. Sherrod and Shartae, you mentioned something interesting about the perspective. It came to mind, the man who's watching, who's a man. You might be a husband, you might be a father, but you might not necessarily be all 3 as well. And there are aspects of you that you have to cater to inside of that. And so in a way, I think we're speaking to all men, no matter where you are, around the ideas of perspective, around the ideas of contribution, around the ideas of legacy. And then following up on the legacy conversation, and I'll leave it, is so a lot of the times people's kids don't want to work with them in a business or don't want to work in the same field that they've worked in. It's like a family has tried to do so much to build something, and then they want to pass it on, and to discover that the children don't want to participate. And a lot of the time it's because the child is not included in the processes. They're excluded. And so they don't want to participate. And so there's something about this aspect of man, husband, and father that speaks to leadership and inclusion. Wow. Which is what Ian was just doing. He was just making a space of inclusion. And as he switched into father mode, right now his son comes, he's switching from man, and then we can watch it. Now he's switching into husband and father, protector, nurturer, right? All of those things. And so now he sits back, and now he's a facilitator. And now he's like, okay, let me allow this to go forward. And this is all revelation that's happening moment by moment. So this is a powerful conversation.
Yeah, man. Being in the position that I'm in and having the burden of purpose that I have, I understand the power of knowing who you are, the power of identity, and that's something that I'm striving to instill in my son. I went a long time just not knowing who I was, not knowing what I was capable of, not feeling adequate.
That's most black men too, bro.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'm sharing it. From a transparent place. Like, these things I know aren't foreign to those of us that we're speaking to. And so as I venture out and I'm growing as a businessman and as a professional and as a person, even just as an individual. You know, I want to take these lessons and pass them on early. I don't want to wait. You know what I'm saying? It's not the age that's going to qualify him to understand these things and for him to be included in these lessons and these experiences. And so, you know, this is Brothers in Influence podcast. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to be 18 to glean from, to receive from, to hear, and to be blessed by what you brothers are offering, what we're doing here for Brothers in Influence. So my son, Ian Jr., he's a huge inspiration to me, man. You know, as Lorenzo said, you know, being in the middle of the panorama, we basically spent summer 2020 together, you know. We both got sent home at the same time. Daycare shut down, work from home started happening. So it was me and him, man. We were rocking hard, and you know, I felt like it was really good. It was really good for us, you know, because I've been working in corporate environments since the day he was born, and you know, you work 9 to 5. Really, it was like 8 to 5. And the reality is, you spend more time with the people that you work with than you do your own family.
Say that.
Those are the numbers. You can add those up. You know what I'm saying? Because you go home, you eat, you go to sleep.
That's key. Yeah. Counting the cost.
Yeah, you do. So breaking free of that, you know, and really working in my purpose, committing to working in my purpose. I felt a big part of that, knowing what my values are, which is faith, starting with faith and family. Those are my top 2. It's only natural for me to include him in the process, to encourage him in his gifts, help him on the path to discovery. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a snake oil salesman. I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid and I'm passing it on. So, yeah, that's what.
I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see, I have life. I ain't dead. Ain't no poison in there.
Exactly. Say that.
I'm living. I'm prospering. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, coming out of corporate, I would have never imagined being in the position that I'm in and making the impact that I'm making, and being blessed to just, you know, touch lives unabridged by, you know, just, I don't want to say the corporate environment, but there's things that come along with being in that, you know, where it's not about your purpose. It's about security and keeping a paycheck. But my security is bigger than a 9 to 5. So
you better say that. You better say that, sir. And if I could say to someone who is watching us, who might listen to us, who might see us, be encouraged by Ian's testimony and his story and what he's sharing with you, that as he stepped out on faith, things went well for him, that as he moved into connecting with purpose. So just even being more specific, there are people who are watching at a crossroads during this pandemic right now. And you're trying to figure out how to move and what to do next. It is taking the leap of faith and trusting yourself and what God has put inside of you, and getting the supports and things around you so that you can succeed, but ultimately trusting what God has put out inside of you and not being afraid to take the step in faith, moving out and moving forward. And I feel so strongly led to and share that with someone right now. This is your time to move forward, and don't be afraid of it. Because Ian is a living witness. All of us on this screen are living witnesses that when you operate and move in purpose, God will make a way, universe will make a way, source will make a way. Right? We're not trying to preach to you, but we're trying to give you the values, like Ian mentioned, as coaches and as men, as husbands, as fathers, that if we didn't share it this way, it would be unhealthy for us. And so often we have unhealthy modes of communication where we don't express. So I'd rather be on the side of over expressing myself than under expressing myself, right? I'll ever on the side of being more in communication than not in communication. So I want someone to take that away from this session among so many other things, but consider this is your time to have faith in what you're doing and what you've been given to do. If you don't feel fulfilled if you don't feel like you're in purpose and on purpose, it's time to shift and it's time to pivot. It's time to shift and it's time to pivot. And so have confidence. You're looking at a man who took the steps and he's able to get on the other side and say, you know what? I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I took the steps. It's exceedingly and abundantly, I'm done, more than I could have imagined. And so I just wanted to encourage somebody, and even us on the screen. God, stop myself.
Yeah,
don't stop.
And, as we're talking about this, and I know you guys have dropped gems on us already, but I almost look at it from a different perspective. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I see this healthy man, husband, and father, out of some concern of being redundant, really. Matter of fact, I'll say it like this. Auntie Tabitha Green. I don't know if you guys have seen her on social media. She is a
shout out to her.
She's an actress and an influencer, but is really touching people's hearts and feeding people's soul just by being herself and walking in her purpose. But she posted something yesterday, while she was eating dinner. She talked about how you are more, and basically, that's kind of where I'm coming from. You are more than a husband. You are more than a father. And really what that comes back down to, here's the redundant part, is the self leadership. Is the self leadership. When it comes to these things, these are somewhat aspirational, right? As we grow, we're trying to figure out how to be men. We're trying to figure out how to be husbands. We're trying to figure out how to be fathers. And we may never admit it, but 9 times out of 10, it's always seeming just out of reach. It's stretching us. These are the things in our lives that are stretching us and pulling us and causing us to grow, whether we want to or not. Kicking and screaming. Being a husband and father will cause you to grow.
Yes.
If you allow it to, and it's healthy. The tension there is healthy. And so at the end of the day, in order for you to continue to reach, and in order for you to continue to be stretched uncomfortably to the point where you're growing into the shoes, you have to take care of yourself. You have to not ignore, not avoid the challenges, the feelings, the mental wellness. You cannot afford to ignore the needs and wants that you have. And part of being a man is learning how to assert yourself. And assertion is the difference between being passive and aggressive, right? Mm-hmm. When we say passive and aggressive, neither of those are healthy. Where it's healthy is in the middle, when you're assertive, when you can just say what you need and say what you want. The key there is saying it and communicating from a healthy place, so that you can then go on and fulfill those roles day in and day out, stretching towards the high calling that we have as men, as husbands, as fathers, being what we're meant to be and reaching our potential.
Man, that was
that
was awesome. You're right on point. I love the more, because I think that's kind of the thing with perspective too, because you're not just a man, a husband, and a father, and that's where a lot of people fail in that leadership realm, because they separate it. Yeah, the guy's a man, he's a husband, a father, but he keeps them how do you say it, compartmentalized. So
yes,
I'm the husband over here, I'm the man, I'm this man over here, and I'm this father over here. Everything's in its own little compartment. But if we talk about wholeness and self, they're distinct, but they're one at the end of the day. There are these distinct things that people can identify you as. However, you're just not that. There's still a whole part to you. Those are just what is the Bible? Yeah, what in the Bible talks about someone's the hand and someone's the leg. All these separate parts, but I am a man. I have hands, I have feet, I have eyes. All these things, and I think that's I believe that more kind of hit it on the nail, because if you don't see yourself as more than just these distinct things, because a lot of times for men, what is it? Especially that whatever that career is, that becomes your defining thing.
Yeah.
Even if you got a wife and if you got kids and you got all these other, that becomes your defining thing, that job, that title at your job, being that, but yet and still you have this family sitting over here. We kind of talked about it earlier about famous people.
Exactly. That's so good, bro.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm pretty sure this gonna be like part 2 next week, tie it in a little bit, but
yeah, when you said compartmentalize, I felt that, bro. I actually teared up a little bit because it's real, you know. And then you ended it by talking about how we are defined by different things. You talked about the job, man. Just imagine, like, think about it, the job, and then different times in our lives, the relationships, right? The approval or lack of approval that we received or didn't receive from people that we looked up to, and how we allow those things to define us, you know, at different seasons of our lives, and how that is still affecting us till today.
Yeah, that's right on.
Yeah, I want to jump back real quick to something that Ian.
Just real quick. I just want to talk about. I just want to kind of highlight the fact that what that causes us, it causes us to be stunted, and we don't want to be cut off. We don't want anybody to remain cut off at the knees in your personal growth, in your health as an individual, as a man, as a husband, and a father. And so I think there's a real spirit, even right now, as we're on this broadcast, for people to be set free. And you know, we look at, as people of faith, we look for healing signs and wonders. That sort of healing is a miracle for our community. Go ahead, Sherrod.
I was gonna say, Sherrod, you wrap us up too.
Oh, are you gonna wrap us up? Nah. Well, so I think it was Ian. He brought up the point of identity. And when I think about identity, and then I think about healthy man, husband, and father, to become a healthy man, husband, and father, I think identity is important from the perspective that we have to understand our role and our identity as we see it as men, husband, and father, right? That it's not what I do, but who I'm becoming in the process of becoming a man, a husband, and a father.
Come on, bro.
You even just hit on how, again, certain circumstances or even certain events, certain positions, roles, or whatever, we allow those to define. And then also, I would say, on top of defining, also apply if we haven't already identified with that. So when we define something, we almost, to a degree, even put an identity to it. So if I define my manhood through my role at or position at work, then I identify and I define myself and I identify with that. That's then becomes my identity. And then I try to use that role in that position in other aspects, i.e. husband and father. So that I think the identity component, which is very difficult, right, at times when we think about it, because again, here's your reality. When we think about a healthy man, I would almost even say who's your model, right? What is the model of a healthy man? What is the model of a healthy father? What is the model of a healthy husband? And I'll just be all the way real. Sometimes and a lot of us we didn't have that role. We didn't have that role model. So again, when it comes to identity, or identifying, connecting, and allowing that to define us, we had to come up with it on our own. So, yeah, I don't know if you want me to wrap up, but that was just something I felt I needed to get out.
Yeah, that's good, bro. I think that that's really key. Identity is something that I consider to be very precious. It's just something that when I see a person who struggles to see who they are, see themselves for who they are, who they were created to be, it's a burden for me. I want, that's part of what I do, right? That's why I am a purpose coach.
Yeah, but it's a burden for them.
Exactly.
Right? And it's a burden that they probably don't even identify with. Right. And it's so, and I ain't trying to cut you off, brother, but as I think about this, like it's to the point to where, again, I almost think that every effort in trying to move forward towards something gets, not to use it, stunted a little bit because, again, lack of identity.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's a perfect segue, man. Listen, helping and father part 2, identity, next week. That's what we're gonna do.
Copy.
Right? Yeah. That's good.
That is what we are going to do. We clearly hit on a sore spot here, and I believe that the Spirit is moving with us, right? Even right now, and we'll continue to work on into next week. Right here, Monday, 6 p.m. This is the Brothers in Influence podcast. These are the I'm shoulder to shoulder with these giants, and we love y'all. Just thank you for tuning in. Holla at your boys.
Holla.